Brexit. Britain is set to finalise a new trade deal with Japan as early as next week, Professor Alan Winters suggested as he warned the UK to expect new demands soon. Brexit has been hailed by supporters of the Leave campaign as an opportunity for the UK to expand its trade ties past the European Union and strengthen its global role. Talks with potential new partners have been undertaken since shortly after the referendum in 2016, and the UK could soon expect to finalise one such deals with an important partner like Japan. The director of the UK Trade Policy Observatory in the University of Sussex, Professor Alan Winters, told Express an agreement could be struck as soon as next week but noted more negotiations are likely to follow on key sectors. Professor Winters said, the negotiations with Japan is said to be very close to being finished. Twice the government has let it be known that, hold your press, within 24 hours the completion will be announced. It fell over Stilton cheese the first time, not quite sure about Abe's resignation. I am told that there's a closure next week but we will see. The trade expert suggested the speed of the negotiations is unlikely to result in a major departure from the existing EU-Japan trade agreement. The UK is still party by virtue of the transition period still being in place. He also forecast Japan could push for the UK for a swift reduction of trade tariffs on car imports as the process agreed with Brussels appeared too slow to Tokyo. The academic continued, on the essential point, it is an extremely quick negotiation and therefore it's going to include very, very little advance on the EU-Japan trade agreement. The implementation is probably going to involve slightly different timetables. The Japanese are keen, for instance, that we reduce our tariffs on vehicle imports more quickly than the EU agreed to do. It's possible we might. The conversation with Japan is not going to be earth-shattering in its outcome and it's, therefore, actually going to be relatively straightforward to implement and it's going to feel fairly much like our trade relationship with Japan would have been even without Brexit.